We all know about those times we have chatting with our friends over some drinks. The one where it was so fun and interesting that you wish you were recording the conversation to listen back and reminisce on those good times. Well, we decided to do just that. Hear what it's like when three friends get into topics that are definitely not suitable for the casual weekend night meetups here on Bar Talk.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bar Talk. I am AJ, and I'm here with my co-host Connor,
What's going on, beautiful people?
and my other co-host Caleb.
Oh, what's up?
And today we're going to be talking about something very interesting that I think you all will enjoy, called Operation Wandering Soul. Connor, can you give us a bit of a synopsis on what it is?
Yes, absolutely. But first off, I want to ask both of you a question. Have you
Alright.
ever heard of the Vietnam War?
Yes.
Yes,
Sad we
yes,
lost.
very
Good, good. I
famous.
guess the American education system is still somewhat working.
Yes.
Tell me, what all do you know about the Vietnam War?
Hamburger Hill.
Hamburger Hill, that's a good one. Caleb, what do you know about the Vietnam War?
To be honest, not much, only from, movies.
Yeah,
All you
I
know is
actually.
that a lot of good music came out of that generation, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Like
Fortunate Son from
mhm,
CCR.
Oh, is
yeah,
that what was
protest
produced
music,
during,
Yeah,
Vietnam?
protest music. Which
protest
is
or
Wow.
funny because all that protest music is now used by military members all the time, riding into battle.
yep.
Oh, yeah.
The irony of it all.
Who was
But
it? Bruce
besides,
Springsteen and Bob Dylan or something like that?
I believe
Unfortunate
so. I
Son?
mean, let's not forget Rolling Stones. They had a lot of good war protest music back in those days as well.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But yeah, besides all the great music that came out of the chaos of war, that was a turning point in military history for the United States. Of course, that was the first time we ever fought against an enemy that did not play by the standard rules of engagement.
That
Since
was the wait. So sorry to interrupt, but that was like our first experience into guerrilla warfare, basically.
indeed, yes, because beforehand we were dealing with people that fought on the front lines, wearing uniforms back in World War II, and of course during the Korean War, it was just waves and waves of hundreds of North Koreans charging against dug-in American positions. So very easy to identify who the enemy was. Now,
Yeah.
the Vietnam War is kind of how American warfare looks even to this day, with dealing with insurgents and an enemy that doesn't wear a uniform, but instead wears civilian clothing. So it's very hard to figure out who friend from foe is, as well as using their surroundings for hit and run tactics. Sure, we are all aware of guerrilla warfare and how that works. So you hide into a position, you don't look like a standard soldier.
Hmm.
When there's a patrol coming by, you shoot at them, and as soon as they start shooting back at you, you run away into the brush, which the Vietnamese on their side had the jungle, which was very useful. The
Oh
jungle is
yeah.
Oh,
very
yeah, for sure.
lush and filled with trees and bushes and wild, exotic, and dangerous animals.
Two-step
So it
snake.
seemed like the
Bing,
Vietnamese
bing.
were kind of fighting on their own terms. But the United States decided, if we're going to go against a non-contemporary foe, we have to figure out how to deal with them. So, if they were going to use the jungle to their advantage, we were going to use the jungle and their customs to our advantage.
Oh yes. Like I did some preliminary research into this and because I thought it was incredibly interesting, especially after the recording that you played for us, which will be played later in this segment here. Um it's crazy like what they did. That would freak me out too, man. Like imagine going through the forest and just hearing that. Like that freaked me out.
Yes. So, what AJ is talking about right now is, of course, the main part, or the main proponent of Operation Wandering Soul. So, what U.S. military intelligence did was decide to use the religious and spiritual culture of Vietnam at the time and use it against the Viet Cong and the NVA.
Yeah.
So we quickly realized that the Vietnamese were very much religious and spiritual people when it came to their beliefs. And their belief is that if you die and you are not properly buried, or you're not buried at all, and your family can't recover your body, then your soul doesn't move on. It's stuck on earth. You become a wandering soul,
Ghost.
Mm.
something that in their mind is the equivalent of hell, because you never find peace and you're doomed to roam the earth for eternity.
Ah.
So the US military decided to use this to freak out Viet Cong. The way they did this was using studios in, what's the capital of South Vietnam? Is it Saigon?
Yeah, Saigon.
Yeah, so they had a recording studio in Saigon where they
Ooh.
recorded a lot of creepy sounds. Some of these sounds included voices screaming, moaning, children crying, the sound of their, cultural religious bells being banged on like a burial ceremony, and
Mm.
all out creepy
Jeez.
vibes. What was that?
I was just saying, geez, that would be freaky to walk into, and all of a sudden you just hear those sounds like,
Yeah, that'd be like going into like a haunted house or something in America where you're like hearing the wind chimes blow and like the floorboards creak and like piano starts playing in the background. That'd be like some freaky stuff.
oh yeah,
Speaking of that though, who in the world came up with this crazy idea?
So it's hard to find out
Oh, okay.
specifically who came up with that idea, uh,
Mm,
but I'll get into it a little bit later on
okay.
who created the backbone for these type of psychological operations, which that is it is an insane story.
Oh, I
Um,
bet.
but to find out if this worked, on February 10th, I believe, of 1970,
All right.
a U.S. firebase started blasting this music from their compound out into the jungle, and it freaked out the local populace.
Oh
I
my
mean, it chilled
gosh.
them to the bone. And so they decided
uh,
to start setting up speakers out into the jungle. So they would have teams go out into the jungle in different areas where they thought that there was a Viet Cong presence,
Yeah.
where some of their trails might be or where their hideouts, might have been located.
Yeah.
Start blasting these sounds of ghosts in their directions. Now, some of the recordings, they're saying in Vietnamese, comrades, brothers, I am here to tell you, I am dead. I am dead. This is hell. I am in hell. Turn back. Go back to your loved ones. It's not worth it.
jeez,
Do not be
Dang.
stuck here like I am. Things like that.
That's
that's freaky.
intense.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Wow.
they
Honestly,
would
I think I'd
also
pee my pants and run the other direction.
yeah, they would also play ghostly recordings of children crying and the children basically calling out to the spirits of their fathers, saying, "How come father has never returned? Does father not love
Mm.
us anymore? Why can't I find father?" Things like
Damn.
that.
Talk about
So,
calling out the soldiers there.
yeah. Now, of course, it's really hard to determine just how
Mm,
effective it was, because obviously it was really hard to find the NVA and the Viet Cong. They were hiding
yeah.
almost all the time from us, doing their hit and
Mhm.
run tactics. But there was
Yeah.
one case where we did figure out how effective it was, and I'll tell you just how effective it was. Um,
Alright.
we realized that there was about 150 Viet Cong troops located, camped out on this one mountain. So
Oh,
we
okay.
decided to start putting speakers all around this mountain, blasting these recordings, and all 150 of them ran off the mountain.
Wow, without having to fire a single bullet. That's wow.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I love that. Like, imagine that's so effective. Like, They just set up some speakers and just like want to hear some ghosts and just crank that crap up to 11 and like that was it.
Oh, yeah. Nowadays, we just use those sounds to, as pranks to scare others. But back then, it was used in a war to scare off the enemy.
Yeah, I mean, might as well, right? If we could have done that in Afghanistan fighting the Taliban insurgents, then
Oh yeah,
probably would have been pretty interesting.
yeah.
Yeah,
um,
dude.
but
Kind of makes you think why we didn't do that.
yeah, probably because humane war stuff, you know.
I mean, we're not torturing them, Well, we're at least not touching them.
Just
Yeah,
giving them bit of PTSD.
it's just
I mean,
mental torture. It's not like it's important or anything.
Oh no, not in the slightest.
with how crappy the top 40 songs in the United States are, we could just, tell the Geneva Conventions that this is music. This is totally music. We're just playing music on the battlefield.
Oh my gosh,
Who doesn't
no.
like to hear the wailing screams of widows and children? Am I right?
Oh, of course, yeah. Let's talk about all the people screaming to Allah for forgiveness as
Oh
they
yeah.
get brutally murdered in our recordings.
Forgive me,
Um,
Allah. I didn't know the Americans were right. I'm a bad person.
they were right. Stop fighting them.
Imagine being that one Vietnamese soldier walking in the woods. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
you hear these screams and wails and crying children. I'd be like, my heart would literally drop and fall out of my chest, and I'd be like, yeah, see you guys. I'm headed out of here.
I think what would happen to me is that I'd literally just panic and run away because I'd just be like, "The spirits of the dead are coming," and just start running back to my own country, and then getting firebombed. I guess I don't know. Uh, like
So
they're
early
coming.
on,
All right.
yeah, early on in Operation Wandering Soul, it was highly effective to the point where we were finding out that Viet Cong soldiers and even the local populace were going on missions just to recover the bodies of their fallen soldiers because they were afraid that they were going to come back and haunt the forest.
Oh my
Which,
gosh.
so they were taking extra precaution just to make sure that the bodies were not going to just rot out in the jungle and make sure that they had a proper burial.
Oh,
Oh
so
yeah.
we really messed them up, didn't we?
Yes. So we decided, okay, so it's working really well when we send troops out on covert operations, being super sneaky, setting up these speakers. Why don't we try and cover more ground? So we started attaching speakers to the Huey helicopters, which we were using back in Vietnam, and
Mhm,
have them blast these recordings while they were flying around large swaths of their areas of operations, blasting this music,
mhm,
and in some cases, even dropping pamphlets to warn people of not being, another soul of the damned, basically.
mhm.
This, unfortunately, was starting to cause the downfall of Operation Wandering Soul because
Yeah.
the NVA started to realize that these recordings were coming from American helicopters, and American helicopters are not ghosts.
Oh yeah,
Really?
no.
I wonder how they figured that one out.
So they were starting to catch on that
Mhm.
sometimes, maybe, possibly, these recordings may not be all they're turning out to be.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that when Operation Wandering Soul was finally starting to come out to the public,
Mm,
and, especially about blasting these ghost sounds from helicopters with
yeah.
loudspeakers, an American director thought that that would be a great idea to put into one of their movies,
Oh
and they did.
gosh.
And I'm sure all of
Uh,
you are familiar with the movie Apocalypse Now.
Oh,
uh,
I've heard of it. I've never seen it though.
yeah, same. I've always wanted to see it.
Have you ever seen clips of the movie?
I think so.
Yeah,
Are you familiar with the whole trope of Huey helicopters blasting Flight of the Valkyries when flying into battle?
Yes.
think so.
The
Yes.
director got that idea from
Mhm.
Operation Wandering Soul, which was basically using sound and music when flying or charging into battle as,
Yeah.
a way of demoralizing the enemy. They actually got that idea from Operation Wandering Soul, which is
That's
really funny.
crazy. I think
Yeah.
I think as soon as they decided to put that stuff in helicopters, it just wasn't gonna work anymore. Because as soon as you see the helicopter and hear it, the helicopter, I'm gonna realize that, like, all these sounds are fake. Like, they're like, if you're hiding speakers, that's different because it sounds like it's coming from the forest itself. But if you're doing it up in the air where you can hear the beat of the helicopter going and you see it, it's kind of like defeats the whole purpose because then it's just like, yeah, it's just coming from the helicopter.
Yeah. So
But
not only did it defeat the purpose, but it also was starting to cause more harm than good. So
ah,
when these helicopters were blasting these recordings,
mhm,
it helped the NVA to quickly realize where the helicopters were in the sky and shoot at
yeah.
them faster.
Oh,
In fact, when they started to realize just how much BS it was and how it wasn't actual ghosts in the jungles, when troops were going into small teams to set up these speakers in the jungle and play it
yeah.
in the direction of Viet Cong positions, the
Mhm.
Viet Cong just you know used the sound of recordings to figure out where the Americans were and start shooting pretty accurate fire to where our GIs were.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Oh,
Because I mean,
jeez.
like, they're literally putting out sounds where you can hear them. Like, you're literally giving away your location by playing music, essentially. So,
Yeah.
just
Also, there's a problem of just the fact that we were using Vietnamese folklore and traditions to demoralize our enemy with that. But
yeah.
at the same time, we also had South Vietnamese on our side. And
Mm,
since this operation was so top secret that barely anybody knew about it, whenever
um,
Allied Vietnamese soldiers were out in the jungle hearing these recordings, guess what they did?
they freaked out, didn't
They turned tail and ran. They turned tail and ran because they
Uh,
also bought into it because they didn't know what it was because nobody briefed them that we
Oh
were
my
using
gosh.
psychological operations on our enemy. So
That oh my
it was hurting
gosh.
our South Vietnamese soldiers by scaring
Mhm.
them. It scared the local populace because every time they heard ghost noises, it was usually around U.S. troops. So they got freaked out just from the presence of U.S. troops, thinking that spirits were following them. And
Oh,
also, the people, like the U.S. soldiers that had to stay at these positions with the speakers or even at the bases where they were blasting this music, they were
mhm.
saying how even they were demoralized listening to these sounds for 24/7.
jeez.
It's one thing knowing that it's a ruse, it's another thing listening to creepy sounds of people screaming like they're damned and children crying
Oh, yeah.
all the time, thinking, "Yeah, I'm having a blast out here." No, nobody
Yeah,
was saying that.
that'd freak me out after a while because I mean, like, you're hearing it, and it's just like, it's fake, but you're just like,
Yeah.
"God, this is eerie.
Well,
This is
especially in
weird."
a dense jungle like that, and it how the
Mhm.
way I'm guessing it should echo throughout the entire jungle, and you don't really know where it's coming from, but you have an, basic idea, but still, that would freak me out.
Yeah. Because it's like, you hear the ghosts and you hear the echoes of the ghosts, and you're just like and you hear the recording of your voices that sound like ghosts, and you're just like, "Holy crap, this is crazy."
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, oh, man, like, I'd hate to be the guys doing that because I feel like I'd be more scared than the North Vietnamese.
I don't know. Honestly, I think it would be a little bit of, entertainment to watch 150 people just dash in the opposite direction because of some screams.
Yeah, just, like, they started hearing the spirits, and they're just like, "Oh, no."
Imagine you're that one Vietnamese soldier, sitting down, grabbing your cup of coffee. You're like, finally, geez, after a long day of fighting, I finally get to sit down. And as he's sipping his cup of coffee, he screams, and he's like, "Gotta be kidding me!"
Yeah, it's just like, just do, like, a spit take and run away.
Yeah.
Just be like, "Ghosts?
Oh yeah.
Where do they come from?"
Yeah, it's like the joke of the Vietnam veteran saying the trees were speaking Vietnamese again. the Vietnamese veterans are saying the trees are speaking ghost again.
The trees
Trees
are
are speaking.
alive.
Look at the trees. Charlie's at the trees.
Yo,
Yeah.
honestly, the trees being becoming alive reminds me of Narnia. Have y'all ever seen it?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, of
Oh yeah,
course. Great books, great movie. First one
yeah,
was awesome.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
isn't it like there's Narnia and then there's like the Prince of Caspian, right? Or something like that?
Yeah. So you have the
It's a
first one, which
film
is Lion, the Witch,
series.
and the Wardrobe, and then you have the second
Uh-huh.
one, which is Prince Caspian, and you have the third
Uh-huh.
one, which is honestly my favorite, which is the Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
Oh,
Like
I
that
haven't read
movie?
that one.
Dude, if you
What was that?
so Voyage of the Dawn Treader, it's
No, what did Connor say? Because I couldn't hear him.
oh,
No, I asked, did he like that movie? Because I personally thought it was the weakest movie out of the three.
really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I still think that the first one is my favorite.
Yeah, no, the
Oh, I
first
didn't see the movies, but
yeah, no, the first one is still pretty good. I'd say for me, out of the three movies, it'd go one, three, and two.
I didn't realize they made a third movie. I must have missed that.
Yeah, they were actually supposed to make the silver chair, but it never came out.
Oh, interesting.
I think it's because the third movie didn't do so well.
Yeah,
Probably.
I mean, I
Because
liked
like
it,
the
but
first two were pretty good, but
yeah,
Yeah, everybody loved the first one.
mhm.
but
It's
Yeah.
because
yeah,
do it.
I mean,
Yeah, well, I mean, that's diminishing returns, I guess.
yeah,
You know what made the Narnia movies keep going?
but
But
Is that there were ghosts in the trees and forests scaring all the humans.
speaking of such, so you said that you couldn't find like a direct like one guy who came up with the idea. Was it like a group of people or were like how did this come to
Yeah,
be?
so apparently, U.S. psyops, really like the modern version of U.S. psyops,
Yeah.
started in 1950, and the
Oh.
reason why for that is after World War II, we got heavily involved in Southeast Asia, and one of the
Mm.
countries that we got involved in was the Philippines,
Oh, you're right.
because the Philippines at during World War II they were fighting against Japanese occupation, and they had a guerrilla group.
Mhm.
I think they were called the Puck Rebellion or something like that,
Oh, yeah.
and they were trying to get rid of, of course, Japanese invaders and deal with foreign oppression. And
Yeah.
after the war, when the U.S. drove them out, you
Mhm.
know, they thought, okay, great, now we can just run our own country. And the U.S. military was like, hold on there, son. We have a new enemy, and it's called communism, and you need us to help fight against communism.
Oh, of
So we
course. Yes,
stayed.
yes, yes.
So the Puck Rebellion, as usual in U.S. military history,
Mhm.
this rebel group went from being our allies to our enemies because now they were considering us to be the invaders and trying to get rid of us.
Yeah.
So one of the people that was ordered to deal with operations in the Philippines and deal with psyops was a man named he was Lieutenant Colonel Edward Lansdale.
Oh.
Now, if you've never heard of Edward Lansdale, he's a pretty important person in uh, American history because he was one of the founding members of the CIA
oh,
Oh,
really?
wow.
and one of their first operatives. And he basically came up with the playbook for United States psychological operations.
Jeez.
And you're going to start to see some similarities here.
Okay.
And in the same fashion that we did with Vietnam, with using their cultures and customs against them, we did the same exact thing in the Philippines.
Hmm.
So we realized that a lot of the populace out in the countryside were housing, arming, and feeding these rebel groups.
Oh, okay.
So we decided to send operatives out there, find out which houses had these, you know, rebel sympathizers, and
Mhm.
they would go out at night and they would paint eyes on all the surrounding buildings around it. So when they woke up in the morning, there were just all these ominous eyes staring at their house, singling them
Dang.
out, since they
That's
were the one
uh,
house in the entire town that was helping out the rebels to freak
Dang,
them out.
that is freaky as hell.
wow. That's
Yeah.
I think that's even more creepy than the screams.
Yeah. Well, okay, so this is funny. Another thing that we did, and you can definitely tell the similarities here,
Yeah.
is that they were very superstitious about curses being cast
Ooh.
upon people. Like if somebody vocally said that they were casting a curse on you, they took it very, very seriously. So what we did was we put speakers on planes and flew them around the countryside,
Mhm.
casting curses on all rebel sympathizers and anybody who was helping them.
Oh my
Whoa.
gosh.
Yeah, and
Oh,
it
man.
actually worked. That actually worked because a lot of people didn't want anything to do with the rebel groups. They were like, "No, we're not housing you anymore. We're not giving you our food. We don't want you around here. I'm not getting a curse on me and my family."
So what? They would like play recordings of curses from planes or whatever?
Yeah, saying, curses will be cast upon any Puck rebellion sympathizers and anybody housing rebels, something like that. Or,
Yeah.
it was, of course, being in native tongue. It wasn't, an American English person
Oh
saying,
yeah.
"All right, here, y'all, we're going to curse them Filipinos and you're helping out the Puck rebels."
Hey y'all, if y'all don't want to get some horrible nasty curses, don't be helping out those rebels.
Yeah.
USA.
It was
Hate
during
myself.
it was during the Philippine psychological operations where the CIA staged a vampire attack as well.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Whoa,
wait,
whoa,
what?
whoa, wait. Vampire attack? How do you even go about that? Do you put like fangs inside soldiers to be
Yeah. So, so vampires. I'm just saying that term because we all know what a vampire is in
Yeah.
contemporary Western folklore.
yeah.
It's a
Hmm.
blood sucking creature.
Yep.
Well, it turns out that the Philippines have their own version of that. It's
Mm.
basically a demonic entity or spirit that is also like a demonic mosquito because it will shoot
Okay.
out a very long tongue that will pierce somebody and then
Yeah.
suck their blood.
So it's like a chupacabra, but of people,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't even think of that. That's a great analogy for it, yeah. Except
Yeah.
it looked more like a man demon mosquito thing.
Wait, so
Oh,
how did they
that's
go about to
kind of
do it?
horrifying.
Yeah, so the CIA, of course, decided to psych up the population and make them believe in this folklore a little bit more than they already did.
Yeah.
So
Oh
they would
god.
have agents go around spreading rumors of these vampire attacks to the point where everybody would spread these rumors that vampire attacks were going on, hoping that, these rumors would, basically be told to the rebel groups, be like, yeah, there's vampire attacks happening out in the jungles, and it's happening all the time. And we found out that there was a group of these rebels camping out on this mountain. So we sent two agents to go out and stalk this rebel group wherever they were hiking to, basically trailing them the whole time, predator style.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
And whenever they stopped and rested,
Oh
they
no.
Mhm.
would take a guy from the back of the line,
Oh no.
pull him into the jungle, and then I don't know what they used, but they pierced two holes into his neck deep enough to kill him,
Oh
and
yeah.
then they would hang him upside down to drain the blood, butchering style.
Oh.
Oh my
And then
god.
after all the blood was drained, they would then dump the body back on the rebels' campground to make them think that something pierced two holes into this guy's neck, and he is now drained of blood.
Holy crap, that is
Jeez.
so freaky. Oh
And
my gosh, that's like
the best
some
part,
Ah.
what? What's
the
the best
rebels
part?
immediately left that mountain.
Well, I would.
I mean, yeah, I
I'd
would
be like,
too.
"Oh crap, something's in here watching us. I'm out of here. See y'all."
To be honest, I don't know if it was them thinking it was a vampire or if it was some crazed
Yeah.
lunatic who killed a guy and then sucked the blood out himself because he's insane and did it. Like, I'm sure there were definitely people that believed in the superstition. I'm sure
Mhm.
there were probably also people that were thinking, I think the CIA is draining people of their blood.
I would have been like, man, this you gotta be pretty crazy to just do that in the first
Oh, yeah,
place.
for sure.
So I mean, like, imagine like you're basically pretending to be a vampire in a really complicated and convoluted way. You got to be kind of sick in the head to do stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
I'm just
Um,
saying, if there's a government that is funding vampire attacks, it's probably not a smart idea to mess with that government.
No.
yeah, that's true.
'Cause if they
Unless it's
yeah.
the Japanese government, because then the anime vampires, they're pretty hot. Just gotta
Hey,
say that.
yo,
Don't talk about those vampires.
buddy. Yeah.
Hey, man, they make them cute. You know what I'm saying? The Japanese have figured out if you can turn a cute girl into anything, yeah, yeah.
So is that the way
Yeah,
you wanna
first date,
go?
the total weeb is gonna be like, "Ugh, yeah, I'll let you drain me my blood, but does that mean we can have a second date?"
No, no, hey, man, I don't simp that hard, all right?
Uh,
I don't simp that hard, especially for vampire women.
Vampire
Although,
woman.
although, although, to be fair, based off some anime I watch, I'm just like, ooh, maybe I would simp a little bit,
Oh,
but
jeez.
no, I'm messing with y'all. When it comes to anime women, I do have my own type, and it's not that. Um, just gotta say that now, since we're gonna think I'm a crazed vampire lover.
Yeah, we don't
Uh,
need to go deep into
I read the
that.
Twilight novels 12
Wait,
times
what?
I have not even
and
picked
3
up a
peg.
Twilight novel. I don't know what they look like.
Dude, I was so bored one day that I wanted to
Yeah.
see how bad the Twilight movies were. So I actually watched one of them and I was like, why did I waste my life on this? It
Uh,
was, ugh. It was like,
but yeah, it's made for like 12 to 14-year-old girls who are just like, ah, hot guy, fall in love with me. Ah.
it was so
You know?
stupid.
Yeah.
Amount of
I
drama.
can only remember the name of one character, and that's, I think, Jacob, the werewolf.
Oh, oh
Oh
yeah, Jacob.
yeah, I forgot they were
And the
werewolves.
only reason why is because I know everybody made fun of him for taking his shirt off too many times. Too many
Yeah.
times. It was just pure, you know, pure clickbait for all the young ladies out there to watch the movie. And
Yeah.
also the fact I don't know that much about the story, but somebody told me about something strange in the
Uh-huh.
story where I guess he doesn't get the girl that the two guys were fighting over the whole time,
Yeah.
but she had a baby with the vampire guy that she picked,
Wait, what?
and
Mm,
yeah, the child apparently grew like really really fast, and Jacob ended up falling for their child.
Ew.
So this grown yeah, this grown man
Ew.
is now falling in love with this little girl. I'm thinking to myself,
Ew.
hmm,
That's yeah.
that does not sound good. We should have a parody where Chris Hansen walks into the Twilight universe and says, "Jacob, why don't you take a seat? Take a seat. Let's talk for a while."
I think he needs the medicine in the form of a silver
Oh
bullet,
yeah, yeah.
perhaps.
Hey,
Yeah,
Um,
somebody take that
I mean,
werewolf
uh,
dog out back.
three.
hey,
We're gonna put down this werewolf.
hey,
Put him
all I need to
down.
do is send a message to Sam and Dean Winchester. They'll take care of it.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
come on
right.
now.
Yeah.
Hey, the
Fun
brothers
Oh,
grip.
dude.
I was actually talking about vampires with my roommate pretty recently. Trying to remember.
Uh,
Oh, I remember why we brought it up. Yeah, my roommate found out that there's this big promotion going on with plasma donations
okay.
where they're giving people. I think they normally give people. I think it's $30 or $50 for every donation you
Oh,
do.
for real?
Hmm.
But yeah, but I guess there's this promotion where if you donate plasma for I think a month, they give you somewhere between $900 to
Uh,
$1,000 just to do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so he said he's signing up for it, and I told him that sounds like some really easy
Oh yeah.
money, and I have no
Mhm.
problem with needles. I donate blood all the time because I guess my blood is not super common. It's not the most rare, but they definitely
Mhm.
need O positive blood in the blood bank, so I signed up
Yeah.
for it. And
That's,
I
what universal donor, or universal, acceptor? Uh, I can't
Wait, so
remember.
you said like if you do it for like a month, they give you like 900 to $1,000.
something like that. I think the promotion's still going on. I already
Mm,
signed up for mine, so I think I'm set. Like that promotion still
Wait,
works
but
for me.
how
But
often?
when I was talking to it, I have no idea how often they do these promotions, and I
I
don't
don't know,
think
like
they are always so
how
giving
how
in
often,
like that
like
one.
within that month, do you have to give?
I have no idea. This is the first time I've ever donated plasma, so I'm gonna find out. And this is gonna be the first time for my roommate donating plasma as well. And I think it's gonna be walking into a brick and mortar location where people donate blood and plasma all the time. So I asked him, "Are you still gonna do it? Like you're not afraid of blood?" And he said, "No." And I said, "What if the doctor walks into the room and he's wearing a long dark cloak and he's got a Transylvanian accent? Are you still gonna do it?" And he's he's like, "I don't know. It depends on how creepy he is." And I said, "Okay, scenario: you walk in, you're sitting on the table. Guy walks in, he, he's got that Transylvanian accent. Is like, all right, are you ready to get your blood sucked? I mean, taken? Are you ready to get it taken?"
I do not say
He's like, "We're
blah
going
blah
to ask
blah.
a few questions real quick to see if you qualify. Question number one: when was the last time you have eaten garlic?"
I do not say blah blah blah.
You are not wearing any crucifix on, buddy, are you? Tattoos as well.
You do not have, any wooden stakes or, silver bullets. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong one.
You can have as many silver bullets as you
Oh
want.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We don't like those other guys, those very hairy, dog-faced people. We don't like
Lady at
them.
front desk, she thinks she can bring dog in anytime. Use that
Oh,
silver
you
bullet.
started to sound more like
Yeah.
Russian or Ukrainian.
Rossian. I can't do a good Russian accent when I actually try, but
Uh,
I had a coworker at this one sales job I did, and he was from Uzbekistan,
oh, wow.
which is part of the stands. They were all part of the Soviet Union at some
yeah.
point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I always told him, "Man, you have like I don't know what Uzbek people sound like, but you just
Mhm.
sound Russian to me." He says, "No, definitely not Russian." So, I like the guy a
Yeah.
lot. I was really good friends with him, but I would joke with all the other coworkers, about how much I liked his accent. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Have you guys talked to him about his accent before?" And they'd be like, "A little bit. Why?" Well, I keep on asking, and he sounds Russian. He says, "No, no, no, no. Definitely not Russian spy. Definitely not Russian spy. What's his
Definitely
Facebook account
not
again?"
Russian spy. I have no
Of
intention
shooting
of
you.
giving any information back to the Kremlin. No, definitely not me.
You know where to find good VPN?
Are these files important? Do they need to go back in the door when they
And what does
do these
classified
belong to
mean?
the CIA?
No joke. I had back in my boarding school for high school over in England. I had
Mm,
this Russian roommate, and
yeah,
oh my gosh, dude, I love Russians. They are hilarious.
yeah, they really
It's
are.
like as soon as they start talking, I'm just laughing, not at them, but it's just the way they talk. I'm like, holy crap, these guys are hilarious. Like hilariously good.
Yeah, like, no, I will admit though, a lot of like the Eastern European like accents on women are like they're cute. I'm not gonna
Hot.
lie. Like,
Yeah, they're
yes.
very, very hot.
Yeah, because I was listening to this Russian girl on YouTube because she has a channel where she talks about like Vladivostok. I think she lives in like the Republic of Georgia now, but
Yeah.
like she has this really like satisfying like Russian English accent. I'm just like, gosh, I could listen to this all day. Like,
Yeah.
There was
um,
I went to high school and there was this girl. She was one grade above me,
mhm,
and she was adopted from Russia, but she was in Russia long enough to kind of start speaking Russian, but now she doesn't remember how to speak it at all. But
Oh,
it's funny because she kept the accent with her,
That's awesome.
but the family, the family that adopted her, the mother was from Alabama, and she spoke with a very very strong Southern accent. So
yeah.
growing up with her, she started to pick up this Southern accent as well.
Oh
So
my
she had
god.
this
Southern Russian
strange
accent.
mixture of a Russian and Southern accent. It's like, hey, what is up, y'all?
Oh my god, no!
Oh, that's
No way!
that's hilarious.
I love that.
It was the most amazing thing in the world.
Uh,
Hey y'all, you want to go mudding in the backwoods with me?
Howdy, gang. Who wants to go square dancing with me?
Go out to the bar and drink some whiskey.
that's hilarious.
Okay, I think that was more Russian than Southern, but
Oh yeah.
whatever.
Uh,
She spoke like true Southern belle.
It was Southern.
Dude, I will tell you the one accent that really gets me in terms of females is the
Mhm.
Australian accent. There's just
Oh.
something about that accent. I knew this one Australian chick back in my
Mhm.
back when I was at a different school in 10th grade. I actually had a crush on her, and I
Yeah.
think it was because of her accent.
Oh.
She was also cute, but her accent, dude, every time I heard her, I was like, "Oh, I love that accent."
See, this is where you and I are gonna be the opposite. I think female or women Australian accents are
Oh,
horrible. I
dude, you're
absolutely
missing
hate
out.
them. No, I've heard them. I don't
Oh,
like
I
them.
love him. You ever heard of Mindy Sue Irwin?
New Zealand girls. Do you like their
What?
accent?
New Zealand girls are alright,
Eh,
yeah.
okay.
Spoken like a true Kiwi.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Oh, no.
I can kind of do that Australian accent. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, and
Right, who wants to crack open a few Forsters? Throw me boomerang. Wherever it
Oh
goes,
my
that's
god.
the bar we go to.
that's not a knife. This is a knife.
Yeah, this is a
This
knife.
noise. Yeah, you gotta get that oi in there.
This is a knife.
Yeah. Gotta really get that really good O and oi sound. You
Knife.
gotta mix them all together and get
This
really
is
in
a
it.
knife.
Yeah.
If the rugby home team doesn't do a haka dance before the game, it's not a true rugby team.
See, you gotta know the lingo too, because if you don't know the lingo, the accent just doesn't
Yeah,
really
true.
work. Like,
Yeah, you gotta like do their sayings and stuff. It's funny because I know like a few sayings
mhm,
from a couple different cultures, not a whole lot. I remember when I went to Ireland, this
yeah.
one woman, she actually told us a little bit about the lingo,
Oh, okay.
and she told us like the modern version that young people say of like,
Right.
"Hey, what's up?" or "How's it going?" They
Yeah.
say, they say, "What's the
What's the
crack?"
crack?
What's the
Yeah, we immediately told her it's like, yeah, if somebody said that in America, we would think of something
Oh
very,
yeah.
very opposite. We'd think
911.
you're
butt
some
crack?
addict asking where they can sling crack.
Hey, what's the crack?
Hey guys, where's the crack? I need some. I need my fix, man. Gotta
Ah.
get it. Ah.
Just
Uh,
imagine an Irishman going to like some inner city in America. It's like
Mhm.
top of the morning to you. What's the crack? And then some guy me goes like, "Oh yeah, my buddy sells it behind the gas station." I don't
Oh,
quite know what that
you
means, but I think you're telling me where the nearest pub is. Oh, thank you very much.
Oh god. Oh man, I'm done. That's it.
uh,
I'm done.
oh yeah. Yeah,
I
no,
got nothing.
when I was
Got nothing.
I think my first year in England, I was living there. That was
Mhm.
took a lot to get used to because of the different stuff they use, and apparently, well, I saw, I forgot which movie it was, but there was this one British movie I saw.
Mhm.
One of the terms they used a lot was like, "Oh bloody hell!" So,
Hey, bloody
funny
hell.
story.
Ron Weasley saying,
Yeah,
Mhm.
when I was at my boarding school, I said that, One time, just as a joke, and my teacher and my classmates just all stared at me. They're like, you can't say that." I'm like, "Why not?" They're like, "Oh, that's the equivalent to a swear word." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Really?
Yeah.
See that in those Harry Potter kids movies, like, all the time, especially from that one
One
ginger,
ginger.
Ron Weasley. Yeah, that was his name.
Oh
Come
yeah,
on,
yeah,
Bloody
yeah, yeah,
hell.
yeah.
you're the one
Yeah.
ginger kid.
Yeah, boy, yeah.
Hell, mate.
Ah, you
Ah, you
twit.
twat.
Holy hell, Harry, why do we use owls for delivering messages? They're the slowest bird in the world.
Why don't we use email like normal people?
Because we're in a wizard school, Harry.
Ever heard of
Wait,
Skype?
that.
Why do
I
we
did.
teleport through toilets and fireplaces, Harry? We can literally fly through the sky.
Well, this is not how I expected to use the bathroom today.
Can I go to the loo?
Yeah, there are definitely parts of those
Yeah,
movies
I'm
where
gonna
watching
go
it
to
as
the.
a kid,
Don't
you're like,
worry.
"Oh, this is so
What?
cool, this is so fascinating," and then you grow up and you're like,
Yeah.
"Why? This
Why?
is they have so many alternatives already in this universe that are way better. Why do I have to step into a toilet to, go to another town?"
I don't worry, Mum. We're gonna just take the toilet to the supermarket, and then don't worry, we'll come right back in an hour.
Or maybe a
Uh,
day.
Yeah, you know, as long as it
Yeah.
takes. Gonna go to London, and then we're gonna find a nice public bathroom, and then go and go find our way back home. Or we'll just take the nearest fireplace. You know, I mean, it's probably they probably call it like a
You know,
hearth or
a
something. I don't
wardrobe.
know. I don't know what the
Sure, yeah.
I don't know what the British term for
It's
fireplace is,
a
but you know.
it's a fireplace.
Yeah, okay, good.
And yet they still just can't call a flashlight a flashlight. They call it a torch. It's like, "Okay, guy, we are not in medieval times anymore. This is powered by
Do you,
electricity."
do you hold your flashlight like you hold your torches, just pointing straight up into the sky, or like I
Sky.
don't know. Yeah, I
We
mean,
need 10 people to carry their torches in here. It's so dark. But yeah, just point it forward, moron.
yeah.
Uh,
Europe is just so backwards, am
yeah,
I right, fellas?
I can vouch for that.
Europe is just a weird place, man. Like, there are too many countries. They need to
Yeah.
just consolidate. You know, maybe under one. Maybe
Yeah,
under one really, really,
separate.
really crazy guy.
No joke,
You
like,
know.
when we were living in England, we would spend, like, 3 hours in the, car or no, sorry, 4 hours in the car road tripping, and within
Hmm.
those 4 hours, we would pass through, I think, 2 or
Hmm.
3 different countries. I'm
Oh, I
like,
bet. Because you got to go
"Oh,
from
yeah."
what is it?
Like, I
England to
yeah.
Wales or
Uh,
whatever.
England, you got Scotland, yeah.
Yeah.
Scotland's I actually like Scotland. Everybody up there is nice.
I still
Oh,
haven't visited Scotland, but that's on my bucket
yeah.
list for sure.
I've never
Aw,
been to Europe.
it's okay, AJ. Nobody's perfect.
Shut up.
Hey man, you're in the Marine Corps, dude. You should just like request to be stationed there somewhere.
Honestly, no. If anything, I'm gonna request to be
Oh,
stationed in
dude.
Japan. That's like the only place I want to
That's where I
go.
was born, and I have yet to be there since the first year of my life.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna live there. I'm never gonna come back to America
No.
again. I'm gonna go live in Japan.
I'm
So
gonna
just
drink
follow
sake all
Funny.
me.
day.
Yeah. Yeah, just follow me to Japan. It's not like it's
Yeah,
gonna harm you
honestly,
or
I
anything.
would, but the only
It's not
reason
like it's a ocean
I
away
mean,
or
the only
anything.
reason why I'd go there
Yeah.
is, for all those, rally and street cars. Oh, dude,
Oh, you're
I'm
right.
a total car guy. I'm gonna get a freaking, R34.
Yo, I'd go there. I'd probably get an
Ooh,
R34 too, to be honest, or an R32 because I like them too. But I'd go there literally for Akiba or Akihabara or
wait,
whatever they
which one?
call it, because that's where all the Akihabara
Uh,
in
I don't
Tokyo,
think I know that one.
because it's where they sell all their
Oh,
anime
yeah, I
stuff.
forgot you're one of those.
And I'm 100% a weeb. I was a car enthusiast. I was a JDM car enthusiast beforehand, and now I'm a weeb.
No,
It's
I'm
great.
a 100%
Um,
JDM car enthusiast.
No.
You can
Yeah.
open an officer and be like, "I want to be stationed in Japan, but specifically this town." Why?
Yeah.
Anime.
Because that is where the official Pokemon hospital is. Duh.
No. Oh, could you imagine that though? Like, I wanna be stationed in the Saga Prefecture. Why? This anime took place there, and I really want to visit other
Well,
locations.
AJ, we might need to yeah, retake your psych evaluations.
Sir, are you sure you're up for this task? Oh, of course. Yes. What gave you any
You
doubt?
come back with those with an anime surgery with your eyes all big.
Gonna- No, that'd be horrible. Oh no. I mean, imagine I feel like I come back to America and I have an anime girl tattooed across my
I'd
forehead.
probably be like,
Like,
yeah, I've never met this guy in my life.
It's like, guys, I want you to meet my new wife, and you just pull out a body pillow.
Okay,
bro.
that's going way too
Okay.
far.
That is, I'm just like, I mean, like, I mean, I'll admit I'm pretty bad, but I'm not that bad. Like,
Well, you just said you fall for an
I
animation
mean,
girl, so
hey. Everyone simps for something, okay? Like, you can't just blast
I
me
guess
for that, all right?
You
So,
know, like
like,
those like super intricate anime
yeah,
figurines.
yeah,
Is there a specific term for them?
they're just called figurines.
Yeah, I know somebody who spends hundreds of dollars on every single figurine
oh
from every
no.
anime
God.
they like. Me
Dude,
myself,
That's too
that's
much.
AJ's
I
dream
will
life.
admit though,
you know how I'll enjoy the anime? Watching it, not buying hundreds of dollars worth of figurines just
Hey,
put up
that's
on the
AJ's
shelf.
dream life.
I'm not gonna say anything about that.
It's okay if you have a couple, okay? It's
I
okay
have
if you have
like I have 3 and I have one pre-ordered for
Oh,
April this year, but
but if you have a
so
room
there's
full of them, like
no,
head to
that's
toe
too
ooh.
room
many.
full of them, that's different, okay? That's when you need, like, to be checked into a psych ward or something.
Oh wait,
But what if it's all in a secret room that no one knows about?
uh,
Well, if it's a secret room, then I can't judge you. You keep it a secret.
To be fair, I'm only ever gonna. I said this when I only had one. I was just like, I'm only gonna have one of
oh
these,
no.
and I bought another one. I'm just like, okay, I'm only gonna have 2 of these, and then I bought another one, and I was just like, okay, I'm only gonna have 3 of these, and then I bought another one, and I'm just like, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, do not buy another one, and I'm gonna end up doing it, and I,
Dude,
uh,
honestly, I feel
it's
like AJ would be like one time JJ or AJ would be captured and they're trying to interrogate him. He's like, "Nope, I'm not answering to anybody." And then they bring in one of those animation girls and he starts simping and he's like, "Okay, I'll tell."
Then hang on,
no,
they take his personal collection of figurines and then start smashing them with baseball bats in front of him. He's
no,
just tied to a chair,
oh.
screaming and trying to lunge everywhere. It's like, "You animals! You animals!"
That would kind of hurt. They were kind of pricey.
Oh,
Like, "You have
I'd
any
just be like,
idea how
"Oh,
much
that was
that was on
expensive."
Etsy? That was custom made!"
No, oh god, no.
dude.
That's too
Wait,
much. That's too much.
Connor.
I
Huh?
think
No, I was just gonna say your
Yeah.
animal thing reminded me of Grown Ups. Have y'all ever seen Grown Ups?
no,
Dude,
but I need
there's
to.
this one scene where they're on a zip line. This isn't, I think, Grown Ups 2. And they're oh no, this is Grown Ups
Mhm.
1. They're all at a water park and they're trying to go down the zip line. And one guy is trying to convince the other guy, and he's like, "No, I don't want to do it." And then he goes like this: "You're an animal. I'm an animal. You're an animal. I'm an animal." Ah!
Nice. Nice.
That's
Is that
great.
that's
Yep,
Adam
Adam
Sandler's in that
Sandler,
movie, right?
Kevin James, and Chris Rock. And then whoever that
Oh my god.
hillbilly is, blonde
The
hair,
hillbilly?
Hillbilly.
long blonde hair.
Blonde
There's
hair
a lot
guy.
of blonde hair hillbillies. You gotta be more specific than that.
Yeah, I know a few of
Hey
them.
yo. Um, yeah. Honestly, that's the only name that does not come to mind.
Dang.
Yeah, I got 3 of them.
Such a
Give me a
shame.
break.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah,
hey, hey.
it's true.
Hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Got 3 out of 4.
Um, but going a little bit
Oh,
back
oh
on
yeah,
topic
we
for a
veered
second,
so far
like
off.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Like, how effective do you think that would be, like, today? Like, if we tried to do that to, like, the Russians, like, try to convince them that Baba Yaga was on their doorstep or something. Something wild like
Krampus.
that.
Wait, Baba
Krampus.
Yaga
Yeah, we tell him Krampus is gonna
Baba
come to the
Yaga?
Kremlin.
On Wick?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. John
Dang.
Wick. Oh, you're right. Um But no, I think it's incredibly interesting that people like think of all this crazy stuff. They're just like, wow, it works so well in the Philippines. We just painted eyes everywhere, and convince them they'd all be cursed. And then you know what? Let's do this in Vietnamese. It's for the Vietnamese too. Let's just convince them all the dead are just haunting their forest.
I feel like there's definitely a team of people that are literally hired for the job just to think outside of the box. Like,
Hmm.
do you know about
No.
Operation Mongoose?
I've heard about it, but I don't remember what it is. What it is exactly.
So Operation Mongoose was basically all the plans to kill Fidel Castro. And
Oh, that's right.
yeah,
Wait, what?
there are a lot of yeah, Operation Mongoose. It was the US military's and secret services operations for trying to take out Fidel Castro, either kill him or
Mhm.
try and remove him from power. So I think you can consider the Bay of Pigs incident part of Operation
Yes.
Mongoose. We came up with so many ideas. Some of them actually sound doable, which
Hmm.
I think like if they worked, like the plan actually came to fruition, it may have actually worked.
Hmm.
Others are just straight up crazy insane. So one
Well,
of them that I
yeah.
think was probably doable. I don't know what happened. It obviously didn't work out, but we originally tried to use substances on Fidel Castro. One of the ways we did that was we knew that Fidel Castro, we got some insider information that told us that every time he was talking to the nation, giving an announcement or whatever in his room with his microphone, he would always puff on a cigar. He always had a box of
Hmm.
cigars next to that microphone whenever he was giving speeches and announcements to the country. So the CIA decided to lace one of his cigars with
Oh, no.
LSD.
Oh my god.
So he would puff on the cigar and start tripping balls, and he would just start acting like a madman while he's broadcasting to the entire nation of Cuba
Oh
and
my
make the Cubans
god.
think that they're being run by a lunatic and that he's not fit for power.
Well,
I don't know what happened. I guess it didn't work. Either we were never able to put the cigar in place, or something I think is funny to think happened is maybe one of his personal guards stole one of his cigars and he had to call out a day. You
I
know?
think what happened was, like, the Cubans already thought he was crazy, so when they laced his cigar with LSD, they just was just like, "Dang, it's another crazy rant by Castro." Like,
Yeah.
oh my
Another
gosh.
idea was, I think, yeah, we knew that he liked to do offshore
Offshore diving?
diving,
Oh,
and
no.
he liked to dive and collect stuff out of the coral reef. So seashells, sea urchin, stuff like that. So we decided to take a seashell, paint on it, make it really shiny and cool looking, something that
Yeah.
somebody will want to collect,
Mhm.
and plant a bomb
Oh,
on it.
that's wow.
Oh my god.
So yeah, so when he would try and pick it up, it would set the bomb off and blow him up underwater, which to
Would
me, that is
kill
the
you.
stupidest idea in the world because there's a lot of ocean
Yeah,
and, there are currents in the water. What's to say that the current's not going to blow the seashell a couple feet and set the bomb
yeah,
off when nobody's there?
Yeah, I know, like, that's like, I feel like all the plausible ideas got shot down, and all the insane ones were, like, greenlit. They were just like, "Wow, this sounds absolutely
yeah.
crazy, let's do it."
Yeah, let's put
Like,
wailing, women and,
um
screaming children in the woods.
yes, yes. It's like, let's let's paint this one seashell so bright that he'll just want to pick it up, and then when he does, there'll be a bomb under it, and
He's
then he
dead.
just goes bang, and it's totally gonna work. It's totally 100% foolproof.
Guaranteed.
There is no way this will be. Yeah, there's just no way this will fail and be blown all over the
The
ocean and
1-year
blow up in the Keys
warranty.
or something. No, totally. What you? Oh my god. Ugh, like, honestly, what they could have just done was freaking shot him.
What's
Like,
the
they could
point?
have just had a guy in a crowd,
They tried to
like,
do
shot
that
him.
actually.
No,
They
like,
tried to do that.
that didn't work,
They
huh?
knew that there was a woman that was a very close friend of Fidel Castro. I guess
Mhm.
she was friends with him before he even got into power.
Oh, wow.
So they decided that because she was on the side of us, like somehow she started working for the CIA, and they thought
Mhm,
he doesn't go to her house with his personal guard. He'll be totally alone. And instead of putting American forces in a threatening situation, we can
mhm.
just have her do the job. So even if she gets caught after killing him, no American's going to be in danger. She can just take all the flack for it. So they gave her a
Yeah.
gun and they told her to invite him over for dinner one night. And I don't know, but uh, this is something that's actually interesting. Fidel
Mhm,
Castro, when he was a young guy, he was actually a
mhm.
very, very charismatic leader. I mean, he was able to
Oh,
get
yeah,
all of
yeah,
Cuba to buy into communism, which
yeah. Yeah.
you gotta do, you gotta be charismatic for that.
Oh,
So
for sure.
he comes over and she pulls the gun out on him,
Mhm.
and he just looks her directly in the eye and says, "If you're going to kill me, then
Bruh.
do it now." She starts shaking. She drops the gun, and they have sex
Uh,
that same night.
very
Yeah,
romantic.
I figured.
Yeah.
So how did you
Oh my
So
gosh, this
it's
mission
like,
fail.
okay, do you know how I met your father?
oh my god. I pointed a gun in his face, he told me to kill him, and I couldn't do it, and that's
Yeah.
how we fell in love.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What honestly, I feel like we could have easily just, like, invaded Cuba, taken him from power, and just established a different government. I mean, we did it all
Do it all
over
the time.
Central America, so, like, why not Cuba?
Well, there's a whole problem of them having Soviet missiles on the island of Cuba,
Not boo-hoo.
as a
Yeah,
contingency plan, and the fact that the
but not
Soviet Union was
anymore.
backing Cuba, so we couldn't invade
Big
them.
missile
I
crisis.
guess that's true. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
that was the whole
they
thing.
don't do it anymore, though. Now Cuba's just a
Yeah,
pain in the ass, so now we can just
Yeah, we could invade Cuba right now and nobody would care. I don't think anybody would care. Even if the world stage was bothered by that, America just be like, What are you gonna do about it?"
yeah.
Straight up, what are you gonna do about it?"
Yeah, like, what you gonna do about it, boys? You wanna come
oh
tussle with
yeah,
the US Armed
yeah.
Forces? I mean, to be fair, our government's as senile
Oh,
as the people
yeah,
running it,
don't yeah,
so
we should probably save that for another time.
Straight up.
Oh, oh, we yeah. N next episode,
Seniles.
we talk about politics. Senile politicians.
Think
No.
Oh yeah, we have.
we hit the hour mark yet?
Huh?
We have?
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
about an
Oh
hour.
yeah.
This is a fun topic, guys. I had a
Ah,
blast doing this one.
Oh, this was great. Like, we came up with so many other topics off of that. That was great.
Yeah, dude. Who knew talking about ghosts in Vietnam
oh
could get
yeah.
you talking about Narnia? Am I right?
Narnia. Narnia, vampires, the
Anime,
Philippines, anime,
Tokyo Cars, yeah, and you
yep.
know, AJ's weird simp life.
Shh. No one needs to know.
It's called anime,
Narnia
and it's
is
art.
Eh.
anime is art. Don't even try me. Shut up.
uh,
Do not try me.
If you don't believe it's art, then watch Cowboy Bebop. It'll change your mind.
Oh, actually, I still need to see that.
Yeah, dude, that's a
uh,
must watch.
Yes, yes,
Darn.
yes.
Well, all
Oh
right,
yeah,
guys, it
for
was fun
sure.
chatting with you.
Yeah, it was great time. This was awesome. I am glad we all got together. Glad we all had this opportunity to freaking talk about all this junk, man.
And
Like
how to oh yeah,
it's always a good
now we all
time.
know how
It's
to
always a good
humiliate
time.
AJ. I'm kidding.
Oh my
Don't
gosh.
yeah, seriously don't.
Don't humiliate me. I have enough K bars for everyone.
We all
Don't
have
worry.
issues.
If it's any consolation, I'm pretty sure we could just break Caleb by showing him pictures of
Oh yeah.
antique cars being
But
destroyed. And
Uh, show him
no.
Whistling
Yeah,
Diesel's channel of how he mulched
I've seen his
R34s.
stuff. He kills me to the bone.
Yeah, I like his like truck destroying stuff, but like when he was destroying
Yeah.
R34s or R32s, I was just like, oh, this hurts so much. I can't hate him because I liked what he did when he made up a ton of other people mad, but
Yeah.
I can't watch this.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Um,
I'll talk
Alrighty.
to y'all later.
yeah. Well, all right. Yeah, I'll see
All right.
y'all next time.
Yeah, tune in next time to Bar Talk when we talk about who knows
Whatever.
what.
Politicians.
Politicians, maybe. Who knows? We'll have that topic ready for you guys for the next time. Well, we appreciate all of you for listening. Thank you for coming in and
Yeah.
listening. And I was going to say watching, but it's not watching and listening to our
Yeah, for
podcast.
sure.
It's been a great time. We'll see you guys later. Have a good night.
Also, guys, give a quick shout out to your channels. AJ, what's your Twitch
Oh
channel?
yeah. Oh yeah. If you ever want to watch me play games and fail dramatically, um, twitch.tv/Zarrock266. That is
Oh, yeah.
ZARROCK 266. And yeah, watch me play some games. I'm on
Yeah.
whenever I'm
And
on, you know?
if you're ever bored and want to watch some videos, I do a lot of car videos. Look up driving the distance. And yeah, my videos will be there for they're pretty short, but you guys should like them.
All right. Well, that is everything from everyone. Appreciate you all listening and
Peace.
see you in the next episode. This has been Bar Talk.
Adios.